Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to a series that I've been introducing within the last few weeks. These are Yu-Gi-Oh cards that have been forgotten, and this one we're covering is called Tetsudo erat numen. This card is a Water Aqua level 1 with 0 attack and 1800 defense. And its effect is neither player can special summons monsters with 1800 or more attack. This might not seem as that powerful a card, but this prevents you or your opponent from being able to bring out lots of powerful monsters. I would say the biggest advantage of this card is if you've already established a board and you're able to actually bring this out. It's quite decent. The problem I have with this card is how are you getting this effect to kind of be responded to? If you put this in, if you want this card to be face up, you've got two things you can do. Either you have to run something like Light of Intervention, which forces the card face up, or you're going to need some sort of switching effects, bring this into defense mode, because it's going to need to be face up to use its effect. It is quite a powerful card, and I think it's necessary to use it in times such as these, especially considering how many powerful monsters there are. I would say it has lost a lot of its power because of link monsters. You don't always have that many powerful link monsters, as they can. Some of the smaller link monsters are able to do things as well. They have able to go into their strategies without having to bring out constantly powerful monsters. They can also, this card is very susceptible to any sort of card effect destruction. Running this card on its own isn't necessarily a good thing. It needs kind of support, and I see this as being the biggest issue for the card, as it it doesn't have any effect protection. If it had the effect protection, I could see it being run multiple copies of as kind of like a control deck. At the moment, cards such as the barrier statues are a lot more easy to use. If you're relying on a specific attribute and your opponent is using a different attribute, you're able to use whatever attribute barrier statue you need to reduce their special summoning. Whereas this is quite limited to attack stat, so that's kind of where this kind of gets outpowered. This came out on the 7th of May 2010 in the Shining Darkness as a short print. I like the design of the card. It's a massive turtle lying on a pillar. It looks quite like an ancient wise turtle. And I like the artwork and the design of it. It's quite unusable at the moment, though. I'm not surprised this is just over 10 years old. According to the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom page to deal with card tips, this card can be searched by the effects of Dogu, Single Purchase, Temple of the Kings, Broken Blocker, which allows you to bring out basically more defensive cards, Serpentine, Princess, Vampire Dragon, Mimiclay, Where Art Thou, that works for level 1s, Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, 1-for-1 is also a level 1 support, Dragunity Corsica, Sangan, because it has less than 1500 attack, Rescue Ferret, Mother Grizzly, as again it has less than 1500 attack, Shark Cruiser, and Underworld Egg Clutch. It says, when combined with Forbidden Temple of the Deep, this card effectively shuts down your opponent's synchronous summons while still allowing you to perform them. This card can almost completely shut down synchro summons among synchro monsters. Only Turbo Cannon, What Chimera, What Hydra, Arcanite Magician, Junk Gardener, and Vylon Delta, and the level 2 synchro monsters have less than 1800 attack. This card can also completely shut down ritual summons among ritual monsters. Only Chu Chulan, the Awakened, Element, Mistress de Riado, and Relinquished have less than 1800 attack. This card works well in an Ojama deck, since all Ojamas have 0 attack, they'll still be special summoned, and with Ojama Country, the attack of Ojama King and Ojama Knight would become much higher than 1800. Ojama King would become 3000 as its defense gets swapped, and Ojama Knight would be 2500 also. Also, this card's attack would become 1800 as its stats would kind of swap around. The only problem with this combo is that Green Baboon, Defender of the Forest, cannot be special summoned when this card is face up on the field, and that's specific to that deck. This card works well with when paired with King Tiger Wanghu. First, you need to summon this card to the field, then summon King Tiger Wanghu. Therefore, monsters with 1800 or more attack cannot be special summoned, and monsters with 1400 or less attack are automatically destroyed. This does leave your opponent with very few options, but you need to be careful as these effects are also applied to your own field. So it's more important for you to kind of set up your cards first. With no attack points and a decent defense, this card can also be combined with the equipment of Heart of Clearwater, which protects monsters with less than 1300 attack, if I remember correctly. You could use things like Power of the Guardian as well, that's just much better. Or Mist Body, which provides just general battle protection for any of your any monster that you equip it to. This card is compatible with the field spell Wetlands, which gives 1200 attack to aqua monsters with basically level 2 or below. It makes it ideal for use in a frog deck, but you need to make sure that you're not going to be able to special summon Totally Awesome whilst this card's on the field. This card is easy to combine with Stumbling, so you're not open to attack for the next turn. That switches monsters to defense mode when they're summoned. You can use this card while you have Mask of Restrict on the field to limit any summoning to flip summons and normal summons. And if using Exceed monsters, this card can provide a near perfect protection from one particular monster. Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon by stopping your opponent from summoning the acquired monsters to tribute and the monster itself. If this card is used alongside of numen, erat, tetsudo, no monsters can be special summoned, rendering useless any decks that are focused on special summoning. This is kind of how it's supposed to be working as. It's quite a decent little card, but I think it's just completely outpowered now by the barrier statues. Would you ever see this played? Would you ever use this in any situation? Or is this a bit of a dead card at the moment? How do you remember this card at all? Or is this one that has also been forgotten? And leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe.